Hello everyone, I'm here to do a general reading for the collective. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't. It's more to see what are the current energies and how to work with them. Because, yeah, it can be quite confusing sometimes how we perceive the energies and how we choose to actually, what is the stories that we make up in our minds sometimes in order to accommodate these energies. We all have different wounds and we all have different ways of internalizing things that surround us or aspects that we are challenged to face. And Three of Cups. And sometimes we can end up like enforcing limiting beliefs within ourselves, when what really happens is that we are being challenged with certain energies to look at certain things and revisit maybe those concepts. But if we don't pay attention, we can end up reinforcing old limiting beliefs. Three of Wands, beautiful. Three of Cups and Three of Wands, beautiful. Let's see, what else do we have for today? I'm gonna pull up like 4 cards, and then the bottom of the deck, it's the underlying energy, the theme. And after that, I'm going to pull out clarifiers for each card. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk through it. Alright, what else is here? Ace of Cups, beautiful. So bottom of the deck we have Death card. Makes a lot of sense. Alright. So there we are. We are going through a transformation. No wonder it feels so edgy. The Death card, it's also about something that needs to end before the transformation takes place, so the transformation can take place. So that literally means letting go of something. Oh, how beautiful. Letting go of something that, oh, there you are. King of Pentacles. Alright, we're gonna talk about this in a moment. Let's just pull out the cards now. King of Pentacles with 8 of Swords. What do we have for the Ace of Cups? What do we have for the Ace of Cups? How to work with the Ace of Cups. There we are. And then again, bottom of the deck. Well, this is what we are transforming, baby. Alright, I may pull out more clarifiers. But for now, let's start with what we have. So yes, we're going through this transformation, and we have to let go of certain aspects of our limiting beliefs in order to allow this transformation to take place. And in this case, I think the transformation has to do with this 5 of Pentacles energy, which is this energy of scarcity, this energy of lack, this energy of not really having the resources to do what we need to do. It can be the financial resources, it can be the emotional resources, it can be feeling like we don't have the support, feeling like isolated, feeling like yeah, left out in the cold. Look at these people here. They're obviously identifying themselves with being damaged in one way or another, and they take that as their identity and they just go on with it. They don't see the church here as a place for sanctuary or a place to warm up, place where they could actually use. It's there for their support. They just see that they don't have, and that's all that they can focus on. And this is pretty much what's being transformed right now, or what we are being called upon to transform. This card had come up a lot in the monthly readings for every sign, almost, not all the signs, but quite a lot. And I think that, yeah, this current energy, and by the way, it's going to be new moon tomorrow. I'm going to probably make another reading for that one just to get more in touch with it. But we're building up towards that, and we new moon is all about like new intentions and new resolutions and focusing the energy for the next cycle. And maybe the intention and the focus that we need to look at right now, and we're called upon to, is allowing this mentality, this identifying with the lack to die, because this is an illusion. I mean, like, it is sometimes difficult to grasp, but we really are operating from our thought system and belief system, and this is where the energy goes. Where the mind goes, the energy goes. So if I'm focusing all the time on how much I lack and how little I have, and how many more things I need in my life that I don't currently have, then this is the energy that I'm putting out there. And this is what I'm going to see. Where the thoughts go, the energy goes. And I'm not really an advocate for fake positivity, but it is important to understand that this is an illusion. It is good to accept it as it is. Yeah, I can observe that my mind keeps going this way, and I can offer myself compassion for that. And then I can take solace in that compassion, because that's a very nurturing energy, and it's a natural focus, shift in the focus. So instead of focusing that I don't have, I focus on the compassion for that part of me that believes that it doesn't have. And further on, like Tibetan Buddhism practice a lot of metta meditation and gratefulness meditation. We can start focusing on being grateful for what we really have, because we have a lot. We're just not aware of it, or we're just not focusing on it. If we look back a little bit on the last cycle that we've been going through, we could see that there had been a lot that we've accomplished. If you look back at yourself 10 years ago, for example, where you were back then and where are you now, what you've learned, what you've experienced, how much you've grown in so many different aspects of your life, then and focusing on that and allowing yourself to feel it. And there you go. It's this is how this whole energy trip starts, right? Like, you have this three of cups here, which is an energy that it's obviously having to do with celebration. We can start celebrating your being alive, and it comes with the sun energy, which is very, very happy energy. And again, it doesn't mean that you need to completely deny this part of yourself. It's just bringing light to this part of yourself and celebrating that you're alive, celebrating that you have the awareness now, as you bring awareness to this part of yourself, that there is a church there, and there is some sort of support there that we haven't seen before. The Sun card is also about shedding light and towards things that were kept in the dark, which means maybe something that's unknown to us, or something that stays in the shadow of our minds, you know, and operating from, when we're operating from a place of lack, and when we're operating from a place of fear, then we obviously do not see the joy that is out there into the world, and the joy that we have within ourselves. We have the capacity within ourselves to focus on. And as I said, where the mind goes, the energy goes. And once we change the focus and we allow ourselves, because it's really giving ourselves permission, you know, to be happy. It's okay if I haven't like have the salary that I was hoping to have. It's okay that I don't have the car that I hope to get by this point, or the position, the status, the person, the whatever, because that means that I'm allowing myself to just be driven by the necessities of my ego. and if I'm really like a homeless person at this point, and I don't have money to feed myself, that's complicated, and I need to accept it. But as I'm accepting it and allowing myself to look at it, I'm also allowing myself to look for solutions. And there's, as long as we are alive, as long as we draw breath in, there's a reason to have joy. And it's hard to look at it this way, especially when we have like serious issues in our lives. And I'm sure we all have. Some of us like more dramatic or drastic than others. So this is not about judging ourselves that we feel like this. It's about acknowledging it, accepting it, and taking it in, rather than operating from this place, and focusing on compassion, focusing on how am I going to address this? What does this part of me need? What do I need at this point, so I do not feel left out in the cold any longer? So yes, once we find ourselves the way to rediscovering this joy within ourselves, like things get set in motions. This Three of Wands is about like starting something. Once the decision is taken, it's a synthesis, you know. It's like when two things get together to get something for something, it creates something bigger. And yeah, this is emotional energy. This is Wands energy. It has to do with your spiritual, with awareness, with your inner drive, with your passion, with what makes you tick. And it comes with the King of Pentacles, which in this case, I think it's pointing out towards abundance, towards providing for my needs. And right next to it is the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. And the King of Pentacles has to do with, yeah, providing for needs, for physical needs, for material needs. I am able to provide for myself. I'm not crippled as society leads me to believe sometimes. I'm really not crippled. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not damaged. I'm more than capable to take care of myself, to build a new reality for myself, as long as I learn to have gratefulness and celebrate life, and celebrate joy, and celebrate each and every breath I draw in. And that would like, yeah, will show that like the growth of the mind. The Eight of Swords has to do a lot with the mind struggling to accommodate these higher concepts. But it's growing, you know. Yeah, you start seeing the limitations of your mind, and it becomes a little bit confusing, and it becomes a little bit yeah, maybe we start feeling a little bit victimized here, like, oh my god, look what my mind does to me. Oh my god, look at all these emotions that come up. Oh my god, look at all these like um, identities I'm building up, and they're coming from my trauma in my childhood, and I don't know how to deal with it. But here's how to deal with this. Exactly, the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is about grounding. It's about nurturing oneself. Look how nurturing she is. Look how with how much grace she's holding that pentacle there. And that pentacle, that coin over there, it has to do with her understanding of her self-worth. It is important to understand that we are able to take care of ourselves, that we have skills, no matter what our parents or our caretakers or our teachers have told us, that we lack this, that we're not smart enough, that we're not beautiful enough, that we're not this enough. No, we actually are. We just need to allow ourselves to realize this. And this is going to challenge the mind a little bit, but this is also like building up the structure. It's an 8 in the end. And the mind starts building up structure in order to accommodate higher concepts. And this illusion of being like trapped and being like not having possibilities, being limited, it's a realization that it's a limitation of the mind. And this is the beauty of this card, really. You start seeing that it's only the mind that holds you back. So you come back to your body. The Queen of Pentacles is a very grounded person. She's like very connected with the earth and with her own body. Come back to the body wisdom. Come back to filling up your breath. Come back to feeling the wind of your skin, the sun. Look at the beauty of the world around you. No matter where you are in the world, no matter how disastrous it may feel, there's still beauty out there. If only how the sun reflects in the water, if only how a shadow falls on a pavement, the shadow of a tree or the shadow of something. These are very, very beautiful things that we completely miss out because we are so caught up into our own minds, and we are so caught up into this like mentality of like, I need more and I need to be more. But the Queen of Pentacles reminds us that no, it's the body. It's coming back into the self. It's coming back into the wisdom of the body, the wisdom of this in energy, the feminine, the inner, how to call it? It's like coming back home. It's that feeling of coming back home. When the mind leads us astray forever and ever and ever, we run in circles and we like, again, we trap ourselves in certain stories that don't necessarily serve us. When you come back to the body, we realize, oh my God, these are just stories. Why am I telling myself this story over and over again? This story that I can't do it. This story that I'm isolated. This story that I'm being abandoned. That I'm being rejected. That I'm being damaged. This is a story that is not really mine. I was led to believe this maybe. And I forgive those that did this because they didn't mean that. It's just they were perpetuating their own stories on me. But that's an illusion. The more I come back to the body, the more I come back to the awareness of this, the beauty of the planet, the joy within, the recognizing my abilities to create a better fate for myself, a better grounded approach of building up a new path, calling in my ships, calling in the support that I have, celebrating my connections and my relationships. All this brings up a completely new, it's like a rebirth. The Ace of Cups, it's like a rebirth. And there you go, it's right next to death. Now I love how this always kind of ends up being a complete circle, these readings. So the Ace of Cups is this understanding that it all lies within me. It's a sort of like a spiritual awakening, really, and it comes with the Four of Cups, which Four of Wands. I'm sorry, which is also about spiritual awakening. It's about like creating that spiritual foundation for myself by having the harmonious relationships, by having the recognition that I need, and by seeing the progress in my path. By the way my life, my perception of my experience changes. This is really, really beautiful. And it all lies within, over and over again. And it's we all kind of know this. Some of us are more aware of this than others. But we have it within our power to have love and compassion for ourselves, have love and compassion for the aspects of myself that are being left out in the cold, and being left out in the cold by myself again, because I believe the story that I am helpless when I'm really not. I am this King of Pentacles and I am this Queen of Pentacles, and I have the power to give myself nurturing and love and create a new structure for myself and a new life. And this is what we're letting go of, and this is where the transformation happens. Again, it's not very, very comfortable to look at these aspects of ourselves. And I can't stress enough how important it is to not judge ourselves for having this. This is an important part of our progress, of our growth. We need to grow from the 4 to a 5 in order to reach a 10, in order to become this King of Pentacles, in order to reach mastery. It's a growth process. It's a journey. And a 5, yes, it's when we start expanding a little bit and we realize that, wait, I need much more. But that need should not define us. These things that we need, that we truly need, will come to us once we understand our capabilities to manifest our reality, and once we allow the mind to expand in order to understand our own divinity. I hope that makes sense to you. Well, there's your reading. I find it very inspiring myself, actually. Thanks for joining me here. I wish you have an amazing day, and I wish you allow yourself to be gentle with yourself in this process. Give yourself permission to be gentle, to be loving, to be caring, especially to yourself. And you'll see that the more loving and caring and compassionate you are with yourself, the more loving and caring and compassionate you can be with other people, with your relationships, with your friends, with your support group, with all beings, really. So yeah, I hope this message will reach the ones that really needed to hear this today. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you do resonate with the reading, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you again next time.